Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. With me is my good buddy, my good pal, Viking Dave, and a faceless Marco because we're tired of seeing his bum ass boiler room. What's up, Mark? What? Did you kill someone in there last night? You didn't clean it up? Like,
Listen, what I do in the privacy of my own home is none of your boys' business. All right.
at least we can
That's
hear
true.
you. Like,
That's
this
true.
is, technical difficulties over there. The man has a 3,000. He was just bragging. I got my computer's $3,000. This is a gaming computer. Like,
The computer's running fine. It's the $10 webcam that I'm fucking using that's not working.
yes. So do not buy dollar store cameras on Amazon. That's what I've learned. But we are here to talk about week one. We can overreact. We can, apparently everyone's patting their backs way too hard on a lot of stuff. A lot. Like, guys, chill. It's been 1 week. Marco, you're one of them.
I was right about everything.
Yeah. We're going to play a game of Would You Rather. I'm going to give you guys a scenario. And we're going to do our starts and sits and our prop of the week because we love doing these player props. That's all we can do in Florida. I don't know what you can do over there, wherever you live, Marco. But we're not allowed to gamble. We can do overs and unders. That's it.
Yeah, for some reason I can do everything except that, and Underdog just won't let me do pick'ems. I'm allowed to do everything. I can gamble on games, fine, sure, no problem. But no,
No over
pick'ems,
unders.
that's where we draw the line.
Yes, you cannot do what Florida can do. All right, let's get right into it. Marco, I'm going to give you the floor. Please just brag
for
about you were right. The whole season's over. We don't need to play out the rest of the season. Everything you said was going to happen, happened. So go ahead and talk
Yes.
about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been trying to tally up everything that I was right about, and I'm having difficulty because there was just it was everything. It was legitimately everything. I actually am looking for, and I hope one of these guys call me out. I'm hoping that there is something so that I can remind myself that I'm human, that I missed, but I'm not sure that there was. I mean, I said it. I told everybody about Saquon and how he was gonna be completely back both in volume and talent, and he fucking showed it. I said Amon-Ra wasn't going to stop and he was going to pick up where he left off. I said Cordell Patterson was an absolute steal at RB38. Like, I said all these things. If you listen to me, you're probably sitting pretty in your leagues right now. That's all I know.
I mean, come on. It's 1 week. Can we just chill on the Saquon love? I get it. He looked awesome. It's funny. Hold on. It's funny that I admit when I'm wrong. I text Dave personally. Off our little group chats, I said, Dave, you were right about CPAT because this whole Michael Carter debate we had, and then he kind of said, yeah, Carter's useful. So we kind of like had a little truths, right, Dave? Like, I was right, you were right.
I mean, yeah, so far.
Yeah, so far.
So far, we'll see.
And then Marco texted me before the games, hey, what do you need to see from Saquon to say you're wrong? And pretty much what happened is what happened, and I was wrong. Like, I think he should have been a top 5 pick if he's going to do this. This is insane. But
yeah. I mean, he came out swinging. He was clearly himself. If you watch the game, you knew this wasn't a fluke.
Yes.
You know what sucks is I wanted him so. Marco, tell them what I told you after our show.
after the show,
Marco.
This is why you can't listen to Dave, and he's a scumbag. All right. After the show, he goes, by the way, I completely agree with you. Saquon's an absolute steal. I would definitely take him at the 2-1. But I just didn't want to say it online because we have so many drafts coming up. Everybody's going to be, I got to make sure nobody takes him from me in the draft.
I sure did. I fucking wanted him everywhere. I am a scumbag. That's my name. But I wanted him, and he got stolen from me in so many leagues, like 1 or 2 picks before me. And I was like, you fucking motherfuckers. Like, thanks a lot. And yeah, so I got him in like 1 league out of all the leagues I wanted him in. So, oh well.
I have him everywhere.
That's the thing about Dave. Dave is such a dirtbag. He won't give his honest. Like, you can't trust this guy.
You can't.
He
doesn't
like to give out his secrets because apparently we're just all mimicking Dave and we want to just do what Dave does.
Everyone wants to be me. They want to be great. I get it. I mean, I would be too.
Who could blame him?
And okay, so if you're gonna say everything you got right, that's fine. Like, let me just stand on my pedestal and tell you guys I was wrong about everything. I should have known T. Higgins was going to get concussion. I should have known Kyle Pitts was going to do just total ass. I should have known it all. I mean, it's just so obvious. Like Mooney, we all knew that monsoon was coming. We all knew, so why draft Mooney? It's just everything that could have went wrong for my guys went wrong and terribly wrong. It was insane. I had a horrible. I honestly can't wait.
Don't forget Montgomery.
Well,
There's
yeah, the
another- you got
monsoon.
top 10
Duh.
the Montgomery season, right?
Everyone knew the monsoon was going to happen. You're right. You're right. Everyone knew. Oh, Dak, that my top 5 quarterback, Dak.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knew his thumb was going to be broken. Nothing went right for me, and it was not my fault. It was not my fault. It was all total circumstance. It sucked. But we move on. We go to week 2. I'm really not happy about my fantasy teams. Did you guys all crush? I'm sure. I know Dave did.
I only beat you in redraft. I did really good in Dynasty. Oh, and I was right about Justin Jefferson. I would have taken him 101, and he's a fucking monster. So,
you know,
Kirk Cousins, best QB in the league. Agreed. Josh Wingate, he's a smart guy. Smart fucking guy.
It's funny because, and I don't want to like go too much on this, but when the season ended, everyone was like Chase 101, Najee 101 and Marco, your brother Alex was like all on Najee as the top running back of the draft of startups, and everyone was like Jamar Chase. This. Me and Dave are the only ones that I know, especially because we're on Twitter all the time, that said Justin Jefferson should be the 101 in all startups. We're the only ones. And then as the summer went on and training camp went on, more people jumped on that bandwagon. It's pretty much confirmed he's the best player in all of football right now. That's not a quarterback.
I agree. I still, if we're talking dynasty startups, I still would rather Chase. That might sound
how?
Nuts,
explain that to me. Explain it to me like I'm fucking 5 years old.
Listen, I will explain it to you. Is Justin Jefferson better today, right now? Sure. But in a dynasty, do I think he's long-term significantly better? No, I think they're going to have interchangeable years. And I think that I would rather, in a dynasty, be tied to the receiver who has Burrow with him for however long. We don't even know how much longer the Vikings have Cousins, and we don't know what's after that. So if I know I'm securing a franchise QB with the wide receiver who's going to be neck and neck with him anyway, I'm doing that.
But you don't know anything because, hey, we thought A.J. Brown was going to be a Titan for a while. Oh, he's gone.
Sure.
We thought,
all right, life is pointless. Who cares?
No, but he's not the only one. These guys get traded left and right. They want to get paid. Tyreek and Mahomes, the perfect marriage. Big arm,
but you got to use what you have at your disposal. And at the moment, the expectation is that they're going to play together for a good 5 years.
That's the expectation. That's true.
Sure.
We expected A.J. Brown to at least finish out his contract, but no, like these receivers, they want to get paid. They're seeing what Tyreek's getting paid. They're seeing what all these guys are getting paid. Even Terry McLaurin's getting paid. So they all want to do that next. Everyone wants to go where the money is. And receivers are the biggest divas in all of football. So what's the thing? Like this guy just won't move on. Justin Jefferson might just get tired of living in the snow. Maybe he wants to go play in Miami. Maybe he wants to go here.
Don't fucking start, bro.
I'm not starting, but you know how that's the life of the NFL and the receivers. They just want to get traded and they want to get money. They want guaranteed money.
Okay. All right. Again, agreed. It's all possible, but the expectation is they're together. And again, you got to take into account the fact that it's Burrow and Chase. It's not just some random QB and wide receiver duo. It's two guys that played together in college as well and have been together the whole time. So, I mean, that connection's going to have some value in keeping them together for less money potentially, right? And keeping the band together, right? But, I mean, like you said, Justin Jefferson really has no connection. Hell, he might go to a team led with a way worse QB because Kirk Cousins is a great QB, right? And that's what I'm saying is Cousins is a great QB. So he might stay a Viking and the Vikings eventually lose Cousins, or he might go to another team and it could be a worse QB than Cousins. My point is there's less certainty than there is with Chase. But I digress.
Yep. It's a mute point at this point. We all like our guys and we just like JJ. We like the better one. Not that Chase isn't awesome.
Sure.
All right, let's get into the first topic, the first segment of the night. It's a game of Would You Rather. And this is inspired from our little argument last night that lasted about 5 minutes. And this is the first Would You Rather. And I already know your answers, but I want to hear more. Isaiah Pacheco or Brian Robinson rest of season. I know where you guys stand. Talk about it.
Yeah,
go ahead, Marco.
I mean, you guys know where I stand. I'm gonna take the guy who not only is currently healthy, but has played a game and played his first NFL game and played well and got a lot of touches for somebody in their first game, regardless of whether it was cleanup duty or not. Like that doesn't matter to me because quite frankly, that's exactly when they should be getting their touches as a rookie. I mean, Breece Hall's getting out touched by Michael Carter. I think it's okay at that point if Isaiah Pacheco, however you say his name, is getting out touched to begin with CEH. But I think that's easily something that could change or at least balance out to just be that he's consistently playing and we know he's healthy. I don't know what Brian Robinson's. You have no idea. He could have nerve damage that we have no idea about, right? Like, I don't know how you could pick him. Honestly, it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, honestly, the truth is, I don't know. I mean, I get the Isaiah Pacheco side 100%. I get wanting to risk it on Robinson because you think Pacheco's had his best game, which is honestly what I think probably is the case. Just because I don't think he'll be a huge part of the offense, but he did look good. Again, what if happens if CEH underperforms or he just doesn't look good and there's like Pacheco looks good? So I could see either way. I don't have enough like skin in the game in this to care either way. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd probably take Robinson slightly, but that's just on upside because he was supposed to be the starter. Like, you know what I mean? He was gonna be the starter. So now, but again, you got to wait a month. Like Marco said, at least a month, before we even know if he's going to come back. By that time, this Gibson like looked good, and they're like, "Oh, screw it, we're going to stay with him." You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much. There's a lot of question marks with him, so I get it. So they're both. I don't know. I really don't know.
So I traded Pacheco in a redraft for Brian Robinson, and in the context is I traded Pacheco to the person that rostered CEH, and I rostered Antonio Gibson. So I sold it as a, hey, I'll give you your handcuff, you give me mine. But in reality, I was like, oh, give me the higher upside. Give me the guy. Yeah, I read he might come back week 5. He's already off crutches. They expect him to play football this year. I don't expect him to. If he does, he does. That's awesome. But the thing is if I'm taking a dart throw on a guy who had a path to be the starting running back on an NFL team, or the third string practice squad guy who only has a chance because Ronald Jones is the other option, I'm taking the guy with the high upside with the starting job in his back pocket. Not saying that he has it already. If Gibson just blows it out of the water, then he's not going to lose that job. But the guy that was expected to be the starter is who I want on my roster, on my bench. And plus I can stash him on IR. To me, cool. I got 2 players out of that trade. I got 2 players out of that trade. I got potentially a starting running back and someone like a Jeff Wilson or whoever else I picked up to add to my roster. I thought that was excellent. I thought it was an excellent trade for me.
I think it's a good trade.
Yeah, I'll add. It does depend on, I have no idea what your free agency looked like in your league, but yeah, if you can add somebody and like you had nobody droppable and you could add somebody valuable, then that changes things a little bit. But I just, we know that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not anything special. We know he's not good. We know that he's a bust, right? So
don't ask Jerry.
You want to talk about upside, and you're gonna say that the guy who was hyped all preseason long and is on a team with only a guy in front of him that everybody has said is terrible for his whole career, and you don't think he has a chance to take on the number 1 role? I mean, I think that's huge upside, right?
I agree with that. 100% agree with that.
But we're also we've seen this where CEH, when he does go down, because he does, they don't lean on one guy. It's always McKinnon, Gore, whoever's there. They don't have this one
think
guy.
of the names you're naming. It's because those were the guys, right? This is a rookie. He wasn't there before. They like what they've seen. They've hyped him all preseason. Like, maybe they found their guy. I mean, that happens all the time.
Well, didn't McKinnon still have like a pretty good game the other day? I think he had a bunch of catches or something. So I think he's just the receiver. And then the running guy is going to be most likely CEH, or Pacheco is probably the main backup, I would think. So, I mean, there's a lot of upside there for sure.
Yes. But man, I hope Robinson comes back healthy, because that sucks.
I got him on like 3 teams, so yeah, so do I.
I just care about him, that's just a tough draw. But
listen, he's alive, so it's all good.
My next would you rather, this one was hard for me. Would you rather have the Houston Texans running backs, all of them, on your fantasy team?
No.
Or the Green Bay Packers receivers?
Oh God, that's terrible.
Wow.
I will take the Houston Texans running backs, all of them.
No, I'm gonna take. I actually I still believe in Dameon Pierce, and I think he's going to be legit. But I would go Packers wide receivers just because somebody's going to emerge on that team, and whoever it is that does emerge, I think someone emerges eventually, and whoever it is going to be an elite level type guy, and
No,
I'll take that.
not even close. I don't think there's any chance any of those guys on that team is elite. I think they're all going to be blah all season long. I think Lazard has the best chance to be decent when he comes back. And I mean, Watson dropped a wide open 75-yard touchdown the first play.
He did, and he would have had.
And Rodgers didn't even look at him the rest of the game. Didn't even look at him. That's how Rodgers is. He was pissed if you saw the game.
Exactly, but it doesn't mean that he's done with him. It could have been his punishment right then and there, and then he gives him another shot. Listen, I'm telling you, if he had caught that, which he should have, right?
Yeah, he should have.
You have a rookie wide receiver who they traded up to draft, who had I think he would have had a 20-point fantasy game in his first week. All right. That's what we would have had. Sure, he dropped it, and you can't forget that. But as long as they go back to him and he's not done with him and gives him another chance, and as long as the drops don't continue, then you have a guy who could score over 20 fantasy points a week and could be Rodgers' guy. We'll see. If he goes back to him and he starts to perform, listen, that's Rodgers' thing. Rodgers would be hyped. If he punished the shit out of him, I'm sure he lectured him before and after and during the game and everything, right? And then he goes back to him and he capitalizes and performs after getting his ass whooped by Rodgers. That's what Rodgers would be. He'd be all in. He's like, that's my guy. I'm going to fucking tell him exactly what he needs to do, and do it.
He seems pretty petty, Rodgers.
Like, he is, which is why he can't fuck it up again.
But that's the thing, is there's no one he trusts right now. I would just personally rather have the running back, because I think Pierce is going to be decent. I think the position of running back is more important. And I don't think any of these Packers guys are ever going to be, not this year. I think maybe in the future. But this year, I don't think that's going to happen. I would rather have Pierce over all of those guys combined.
So that's why I would go either way, just because of how much I like Pierce. So I'm with you.
I am going to pick the running backs because it's easier. It's easier to see who's it going to be. Like, okay, we can go game to game where, Burkhead gets more, Pierce gets more, whoever gets more. Whereas I think Rodgers is just trying to throw it to the open person. And eventually it's just going to be Robert Tonyan. And that's it.
Because in the running backs.
In the running backs, yes. And the running backs, which was going to be, looks like Marco's start of the week is one of those guys. Spoiler. But I just don't know what I want to do with Christian Watson. To me, droppable. All redraft formats. I'm not playing him. Just like Dave said, I think he's just going to be average. He's just going to be MVS 2.0. I don't understand the hype there. Yeah, give me the.
Yeah, I don't think any of these guys are going to get the volume to be. No. Besides the big play, like you said, you could add 20-point game. I don't think no one's going to have.
I'm going to tell you right
unless
now,
you're relying on touchdowns, which I don't want to do. I'm not
doing that. One of two things is happening. Either Watson's going to prove himself and become that guy, or he's going to fuck it up badly, and then guess what? Rodgers is going to say, all right, then Dubes is that guy, and you're not going to see shit, and it's just going to go straight to Dubes. And that's it. It's one or the other.
Dobbs. Dubes or Dobbs?
D-O-U, it sounds like a Dubes to me.
Did he do anything in that game, Dave? I swear.
I think he had like 3 catches. I think he
caught one where he was wide open game, honestly.
Who?
I think they both had like 3 catches. I think Watson had like 2 catches.
For how bad the offense
was like on the last drive of the game, though. Like,
yeah, but they both had like 6 or 7 points or something, and Rodgers had like 2.7. Like that's how bad that offense was, and that's not going to continue. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers.
But think about it. What if the receivers just are not that good, and the offense is that bad all season? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's true, because I think Rodgers is too good. I think the running backs are solid, and Tanyan's decent, and I think Lazard is good enough to be like meh. But I don't think any of these guys are that good.
Do you guys know how many fantasy points Rodgers had in week 1 of last year?
Not a lot. I know that. They only scored 3 points, so
he had 6.7 this year. He had 2.7 in week 1 last year, and then ended as QB7 overall. Like
with Devontae Adams.
Exactly. Where's Devontae?
My point is,
that does
I
matter.
agree. No, I agree. I completely agree. But my point is, he's been here before with Devontae Adams too. So who knows if it's
okay
because Adams
I trust Rodgers
or just because
I think he's still great.
Who knows?
But not having a go-to guy that's a stud is gonna be a big difference. That's why I was so confident going into the game. I really was. I said it on Twitter. Vikings are gonna win by 10. They're gonna blow them out. Jefferson's gonna have a huge game. The Packers don't scare me on offense. I'm sorry, like, and I was worried about the Vikings defense, but who scares you? Nobody. They have nobody. Like, I'm sorry.
All right, my last would you rather. Would you rather go into Monday night's game with a 12-point lead or go into Monday Night Football with a 12-point deficit with DK Metcalf?
I knew you were going to say DK Metcalf.
Wow.
I knew it.
Give me the 12-point lead, and I'll go to sleep. I don't even have to.
Yeah,
so you're playing against DK. You're playing against DK, and you have 12
That's
points.
a win.
Yeah.
I think I'll take the lead.
Yeah,
Right
I'll go to sleep. I don't even have to watch the game. I know I won already.
I think that's true.
I fucking told you. Add another thing to my list. I told you all. DK was not even going to be a top 24
You can't take that
receiver.
from me. You can't take that from me. I said
Oh,
2
hold
years
on.
ago.
Well, I know you said it 2 years ago, but you backed off of it this year, and you moved him up a little bit on your compared to everybody else. And I said he's not even going to be a top 24 receiver, and I got shit. Well, here we go.
Have 7 catches for like 30 yards.
30 yards.
Like 30 yards.
It's so funny because I text Dave because we played in a big league, and he scored the most points. I scored the second most points, but hey, we played each other. Fucking don't play in leagues that don't do league median or fucking victory points. It's ridiculous. But he's like, don't act like you don't have DK. You're gonna beat me. I'm like, Dave, you don't even believe that. Like, I'm down by 20 points.
First of all, he's capable of it, and I've seen it happen before. Was I pretty confident? Yes, but could it have happened? Absolutely.
No. Alex and I were building same game parlays for that game and sending it to each other. And he and I both, every time, all of our whatever parlay we made, we had opposites on DK. I had under 74 yards and he had over 74. And we were having a massive debate about it. He's like, it's so Gino, he did well with Gino last year. Like, he could do well again. Which I was like, I promise you any amount of money, he's not gonna have 74 yards. And lo and behold, 36.
36. Well, that leads us to our next segment as we go into our over-under locks of the week. We all pick one player prop that we like the most on any platform you play. It could be Underdog, could be DraftKings. Anywhere. So, Dave, kick it off with your favorite player prop that's going to lock. It's going to make us. I'm playing all these on Underdog.
I had 2, so I guess I'm going to go with the one I think is probably a lock. I think they're both good though. I'm going with Herbert over half an interception, even though I love him. Like, interceptions happen. That's going to be a high scoring game. I think there's going to be a lot of passing, and there's going to be a tip ball, or he'll make a bad pass, and I think an interception is going to happen. I feel like those over half interceptions are like almost a lock for, like, you could bet those all day on everybody. So especially guys like Herbert that's just going to sling the shit out of the ball. So I'm going with that one.
You know, I almost won another big ticket. I had an over on Jameis Winston interception, the lock of the millennium. But no, he didn't throw an interception.
He didn't throw none this week?
No, so I didn't win that prop. I was pretty upset. Marco, what's your prop of the week?
Yeah, I'm going with what was it? It was Saquon over 75 total yards.
It was like
97. Sorry, 97.5. 97.5. Excuse me. Over 97.5 total yards receiving and rushing. That's a no-brainer. I'm smashing that. I don't even know how that's the line. It doesn't make sense to me. He had 195 yards in his first game, and Chubb and Hunt combined for over 210 yards against the Panthers last week. And he's going against Panthers this week. I mean, I don't know why those two things would add up to expecting him to have less than 100 yards, but he's definitely going to. He saw 25 opportunities last week. He'll see something similar this week, and he could easily turn that into 100.
Yep, that's a lock to me too. You know, he does get shut down, but when you just saw what the Browns did to the Panthers, I mean, come on, this is lock. Mm-hmm. My lock is a Thursday night game. It's pretty simple. I'm surprised, I guess, because I grabbed it first. But Mahomes 305.5 passing yards. That's smash the over. He averages 400, a little under 400 yards a game against the Chargers in the last 3 games. It's gonna be high scoring, like Dave said. The only concern I have is it's a short week, but it's only week 2. These games are never high scoring, so I was kind of worried about that. But it's only week 2; they should be fine. Mahomes smashes that over, easy money.
I like
Agree?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
like
think
it a
so too.
lot. My only fear is that I feel like every time that we have this like set up for an incredible offensive
Yeah,
powerhouse shootout, it's
Mhm.
always a dud of a game.
it's gonna be like
Mhm.
16-14.
Yeah, they just keep
But
punting over
but
and
whenever
over.
KC plays the
Right.
Chargers, it's always like
It should be a cool shootout.
38-35. So yeah,
Should
hopefully
be.
it's a good game tomorrow.
Dude, Mahomes can sling 300 yards by halftime, and nobody would even blink. Like
Yeah, he's so
that's the
good.
truth. Like it's not even fair. I watched him play. He does. Who needs Tyreek? Honestly, like if he's gonna play like that all year, it's just not even fair.
That's why he's
All
one
right.
of the best.
He is the best out there right now. All right, let's go to our starts and sits of the week. We all have one each, one start, one sit. Who wants to go first? I'm going to toss it up to Marco.
All right, cool. I'll go with sit Jameis Winston, assuming 1 QB league, super flex, probably still starting him. But sit Jameis versus the Bucks, coming off a 24-point fantasy week. You might think he's a top 10 QB now, but I wouldn't jump that far. He also had a huge week 1 last year, and then continued to be extremely mediocre throughout. I'm not saying it's just a week 1 thing, but I'm just saying it doesn't mean anything, right? It was against the Falcons, right? Falcons are very, very different defense than the Bucks. Very, very different. Expect him to be seeing a lot of pressure. Expect him to be making mistakes. I wouldn't expect him to be hitting that 20 point. I would probably put his over under like at 15.
Start sits are fun for me because like if you do have to start them like in a super flex, of course you're going to start them. But like this whole sit situation, like the guy I'm about to bring up, Brandon Cooks, I'm not saying that you have to sit him or just expect less because he's going against the Denver Broncos. By the way, that's my sit of the week. As we all go. He's going against the guy who just shut down DK Metcalf. Yes, I understand Surtain shut down DK Metcalf. He's an all-star, all-pro cornerback. He's going to shut down Brandon Cooks. That's their only option. They don't really have any other options out there besides Rex Burkhead, Nico Collins. Brandon Cooks is the easy target for me this week to sit. There's other guys out there that I would much rather start in that same bracket. Even, did you guys know Garrett Wilson had like 5 catches for like 60 yards? It kind of went under the table. Someone like Corey Davis, like if you just need a high 4 player, I'd go over that because I think Brandon Cook can give you nothing this week. Nothing.
I can see that happening.
But did you know that? Oh, hold on. Sorry. I just want to go off a tangent. Garrett Wilson had no highlights.
Yeah, I
had
know.
like 7 targets, 5 catches. Oh, Dave's frozen.
And so, yeah, like he didn't have any like huge plays, but he was solid.
I know. I got him
5 for 60 something. Yeah.
I got him for like 0 in Fab. It was awesome. All right. Give me your sit of the week.
I'm going. It's probably obvious. Fuck you, Cam Akers. You're a piece of shit. You can't even get on the field. 3 carries, 0 yards. Fuck you. That's all. That's it. I'm done. Fuck you. I hate that guy.
Wait, that was actually your sit. So is your start actually what you said?
Yep.
I fucking hate you so much.
I'll allow it.
I hate you. Oh my god! All right, go straight into Dave's start now since we did.
Dave, give me your start. Yeah, give me your start.
Start of the week. Listen, people, start him everywhere. I'm telling you, start this guy no matter what.
I hate you.
Start him in all formats, everywhere you have him. Start Justin Jefferson. I think he's gonna have a good game.
Jackass.
So yeah, he's off to a good start. I think it's gonna continue.
He's got some momentum going.
Yeah. Keep it rolling. Let's go.
I really like this kid. I really like this kid on the Vikings.
He looks pretty good. Yeah. They've been looking for a good receiver. I think they found him.
If this isn't a weekly segment, I don't know what. Marco, just give me your start.
All right, I'm gonna go with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, a pretty lackluster first week. You're probably starting him regardless because you drafted him high enough that you have to. But in case, maybe you're in a dynasty format where you have more depth or whatever it might be, or smaller league, and you're debating benching him, don't do it. I know it looks like the Bears defense is always intimidating and all this stuff, but they're coming off a horrible game. It's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is arguably the best quarterback to ever play the game talent-wise. He blacks out. We know this about Rodgers. We know when he's embarrassed or he wants to prove himself, he becomes something else, right? Like he is Super Saiyan mode Rodgers, right? So I would definitely be expecting the Packers to have a monster bounce back. What's Rodgers say? He owns the Bears, right? He's a Bears owner, so he's going to go in and dominate this game, and Aaron Jones is going to be a benefactor 100%. He's going to have double-digit targets and easily 2 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns.
Ooh.
$1,000 says Dave doesn't know what Super Saiyan means or is or what it.
That's from that stupid fucking cartoon, bitch. Fuck you.
Cartoon.
It's a cartoon. Is it not a cartoon? Is it not a cartoon?
Anime.
It's a cartoon.
Dude, anime, cartoon.
Anime, whatever. But I know exactly what you're talking about. So.
What's the main character?
Dude, it's the how do you get guy? I don't know.
Dude, it's not even like this isn't like some random sub anime, like some sub anime.
I know what it is. I just don't. I've never watched
Dragon Ball Z. Like
yes, that thing.
Popular shows ever.
I know. I never watched it, but one of my brothers did, and he loved it. But I never watched it. So
grow up.
I know what it is though. Don't act like I'm that dumb.
Count Chocula.
All right, my start of the week, and this is one of the ones I got right so far, so I can pat myself on the back tonight. Carson Wentz, who I boldly said would finish as a top 15 quarterback, he's playing the Detroit Lions this week. Yes, it's a good story. Yes, we all like to watch Dan Campbell do his up downs and have fun, but at the end of the day, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. They have very undisciplined, and let's face it, man. The Eagles Jalen Hurts threw all over him. AJ Brown just went nuts. So why can't Terry McLaurin or Jahan Dotson or Curtis Samuel out of nowhere? 11 targets last week. This offense looks way different, especially with Gibson catching the ball out of the backfield, finally using him for the reason they drafted him. Imagine a receiver in college converted to running back, but you never throw him the goddamn ball.
Doesn't make no sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense. Carson Wentz threw the ball 41 times, which is top 6 in the NFL so far. Hopefully it's going to be a shootout. I'm hoping because both offenses can score with DeAndre Swift on the other side and Marco's guy Amon-Ra. Let's get it done. Carson Wentz. Toss if you lost Dak, right? If you tried to buy in on Tua and it didn't work out, Carson Wentz is out there in a lot of leagues. He could be pretty much picked up now. Like go do it now. Jeremy's watching. Wall drop. Do it now. Carson Wentz start of the week. Don't even think about it.
I'm in.
I don't hate it.
I'm in on Carson Wentz top 12 as long as he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean he definitely can get it done, and God, he just looked like a different Wentz.
I just don't trust him to stay healthy. That's all.
It just looked like a different Wentz, didn't it? Though, like he threw the ball. He threw the
ball.
They
played the Jaguars. The Jaguars are terrible, but he did look good.
He's also got a couple. I don't know. Would this be the best 2 weapons he's ever had? I'm trying to.
I would say
back.
so.
Probably.
The Eagles had
nothing.
You
don't lose Philly. They didn't have anybody good. Like great.
And then all he had was Pittman last year. I mean, this is Jahan Dotson is legit, and everybody knows about Scary Terry already, right? So like, this is definitely the best weapons he's had around him. I would say.
Curtis Samuel's a weapon.
Curtis Samuel's a huge weapon.
Yeah, seriously.
Like he was hot, and then all of a sudden just fell off last year. I don't know why. And this year he's back. Yeah, I know he got hurt, but like he still played, didn't he?
They had no QB. Who's their QB? I don't even know. Taylor Heineke.
He was on IR.
He missed most of the season. Yeah, and then when he came back, he was never anything good. So yeah.
All right. Well, hey, short and simple this week. We're gonna do this every single week. We're gonna play a little fun game up first, then we're gonna give our props and starts and sits. Finn's been hitting me up about DFS. He really wants to come on and talk about DFS. So maybe we could do that next week. Mark, are you down for that?
I'm in.
Perfect. Well, if you follow us on all platforms, at Josh Kimmel OUS on Twitter, at Viking Dave 18. Marco doesn't go on Twitter because he's a loser. But you can follow him on Instagram or something.
No one goes to Instagram. Stop.
I will not be bullied into using Twitter.
You
With
just
peer
said,
pressure.
"I wish I was on Twitter so I could tell all these people."
I did. I wanted to brag about how right. I honestly, can we bask in it for a second? I don't think I've ever been so right in a week one. Sure,
It's like
things are gonna change.
it's like your first time ever being right. So I get
Ha,
it. Go ahead, Brad.
I literally I hit everything. It was just crazy. It was crazy.
Can we
Good.
can we talk about how Marco ruined my high when he told me, "Hey Josh, you didn't start anyone in Primo." It ruined like an hour of my life. I'm like, I know I
Josh
set a
was
lineup.
So mad.
I
He
left.
forgot
I
to
left
set a
our group-
lineup against me,
know.
and I said that he wasn't allowed to have it. I was arguing that he wasn't allowed to.
Like a
set it.
child.
Josh left the chat. He was so mad.
I was in Vegas and I'm like, these two idiots are really arguing about this.
Dude, I was so like it's funny because I'm like, oh, I was trying to play cool. Oh, I don't need the win. I'm whatever. Take the easy win. Because I had Justin Jefferson. Like my team's stacked, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have started A Rob. You're like, really, Josh? You wouldn't have started A Rob? I'm like, yeah, I guess I would have started A Rob.
You've been hyping that guy up the whole offseason.
I know, and he's total shit, dude.
Shocking.
fuck me,
Shocking that the
fuck
guy
me, fuck
that quit on the Bears last year was a bad, a fucking bum.
I'm putting a stamp on this real quick because we didn't talk about it at all. We should have talked about him. That I'm saying fluke. All right. If they had played a phenomenal game as an offense, the Rams and Stafford, and A-Rob had that kind of game, I would be concerned. I'm not concerned because of how bad the Rams were as a whole. And once they bounce back and Stafford bounces back, I think A-Rob will be what we thought he'd be.
No, he won't.
Yep.
Who would you rather have, Wentz or Stafford, rest of the year?
Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford.
Sure.
Although I'm worried about his
Unless
arm,
I'm told
dude.
his injury is worse. Yeah, I don't
like. Listen, stuff like this, they're hiding something. I know it. They had too much going on. It feels like where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And it could be like at the end of the season, they're like, oh, it was way worse than we let on. Like that happens all the time.
Or like 3 weeks from now, he's
on IR. Yeah, exactly. Like that could definitely happen.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
assuming
think about
healthy,
that. If
Stafford.
you got A-Rob on that, like that's gonna ruin that. Like, he'll be done. It'll be just Cooper Kupp and like that's it.
If Stafford.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping A-Rob has a great week too, so I can just get him off all of my rosters I'll sell him for 70.
What's the matter? I thought you believed in him. I thought, I'm so glad you went to the Rams. He's gonna be now he's ready to dump him after week 1.
Wait, can I say something? Since we're talking about a week 1 super underperformance, can I just give a little spiel about week 1s real quick? All right.
Go ahead, do it.
For last year, I want everybody to know this. This was week 1 last year. Jared Goff had 32 fantasy points, ended up averaging 16. Herbert had 17 and was QB 26. Aaron Rodgers had 2.7 and was QB 35. There's 32 teams in the NFL. He was QB 35 week 1 last year. And
golly, how the fuck did that happen?
That's insane. Aaron Jones had 4.2 points to start. Najee only had 5.8. Javonte only had 5.1. Amari Cooper had 38.9 points and then averaged 13 and ended wide receiver 28 on the year. Corey Davis had 26 points. Jalen Reagor had 17. Amon-Ra only had 4.3. Pittman only 5.9. Evans only 5.4. So all of that to say, I mean, everybody knows what all those guys ended last year, right? Like I just named a bunch of guys who did horrible in week 1 and then ended as top 5 players at their position. It can go any way after this. It's one data point.
Yeah. Don't overreact too much on week 1.
Yep.
Unless, you're me and leaving group chats.
Unless you're got Cam Akers on your team, then fuck that guy.
Yeah. Fire sale.
All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up now. Good luck this weekend, everyone. Hope everyone wins except for Marco and Dave.
Thank you.
Until next week, peace